During this session, you will learn more about research and development tax incentives with Joe Stoddard, a National Tax Office partner and leader of our R&D tax credit practice. Joe, I know you've had a busy few months helping clients take advantage of the R&D tax credit. Can you tell us a little bit more about the R&D credit and what activities might qualify?
Absolutely. So to start off, the Congress has implemented incentives for research and development, or R&D activities, to encourage companies to do their R&D in the U.S. Part of this is to help promote innovation and also to help these U.S. companies remain competitive on the global landscape. In terms of the types of activities that qualify for this credit, one thing that I always like to say is that the types of activities is fairly broad. People hear the term research and development or R&D, and in their mind, they've got a person with a white lab coat and test speakers doing R&D, and certainly that type of R&D qualifies, but it's much broader than that. 70% of the companies claiming the R&D credit here in the U.S. are manufacturing companies. So lots of things around product development, manufacturing process improvements can qualify. And it goes beyond that. Software development is another big area that qualifies. So software companies, as well as other companies developing software, can certainly benefit for this credit. So the types of things that we look at covers a broad range.
Okay, so the R&D tax credit had recently been expanded to help small to medium-sized businesses receive more benefit. Can you explain these changes?
Absolutely, and there's a couple of changes that have a fairly major impact on small to medium-sized businesses. So the first one is, and to kind of set the stage, I guess, before I dive into it, historically, small to medium-sized businesses are traditionally structured as pass-through entities, so partnerships or S-corps, where the ultimate tax is paid at the individual level for the owner. We often find that these types of owners are paying what we call alternative minimum tax, or AMT. In the past, you've not been able to use the R&D credit to offset this AMT. So you have certain companies that are generating a fairly big R&D credit, but haven't been able to actually utilize that credit because of this AMT limitation. Starting in 2016, you can now use the credit to offset AMT if you're classified as an eligible small business. And I won't get into all the weeds of how that works, but at a high level, any companies with less than $50 million in annual gross receipts or sales are classified as an eligible small business and can now use the credit to offset AMT. So that has a fairly big impact on these pass-through entities to be able to now take advantage of the credit. The other major effect that is targeted at small startup companies also takes effect in 2016. If you think of your traditional startup company, they're not paying AMT, they're not paying regular tax, they're not paying any income tax. And this provision allows startup companies to use the credit to offset payroll taxes. So even if they're not profitable, as long as they have employees, these startup companies can use the credit to offset the payroll tax filings. And that's a big benefit for companies that really need the cash infusion to help get them through the first few years of existence.
Is there a rough range of the size of benefit that a client might receive by taking advantage of the R&D tax credit?
A general range would be for the federal credit. Of all of the eligible expenses that we can identify, the tax credit is usually between 5 to 8% of the expenses that qualify. So, and this is a dollar for dollar tax credit. So if you have $100,000 of expenses, your tax credit that can directly offset tax might range from $5,000 to $8,000. I should also note that many states, if not most states, have R&D tax credits as well, and the state credit can sometimes be even more beneficial than the federal credit. So the benefit can really start to add up if you're in a state that offers a state credit as well.